All right. We are back here at Song of the Day, coming to you from the Rock Cave. I'm your host, Mark Pierce. It is Tuesday, Tasty Tunage Tuesday for those of you who are in the mood for some tunes. We're doing something a little different today. Word on the news yesterday, right? That Howard Hesseman died at the age of 81. Who's that, you ask? Well, it's none other than Johnny Fever from WKRP in Cincinnati. If you are of a certain age, that would be my age, you know exactly who I'm talking about, Johnny Fever. The show WKRP in Cincinnati ran from 1978 to 1982, and it got like 10 Emmy nominations, including 2 for Howard Hesseman's character there, Johnny Fever. And it was a decent success. It got its most success, of course, in syndication. Once that happened, it was an unexpected surprise as far as that success is concerned. But it aired Monday nights at 8 p.m. against Welcome Back, Kotter and Little House on the Prairie. That's a pretty big, tall order there. It did get moved around quite a bit. Eventually, it did move to a coveted slot right after MASH. And that got itself some pretty big attention, and then eventually moving to back to its original time slot. For those of you not in the know, the show is about a struggling top 40 rock radio station with its fight against disco. And it's just all about the misadventures of that struggling radio station with this whole cast of characters, including Lonnie Anderson. Famously, Lonnie Anderson was one who got a lot of attention on that show, but Les Nessman, the one of the reporters, I mean, it's just, if you remember the show as I do, there was a lot to like here. His character was a former LA DJ that got fired for saying the word booger on the air, and he ended up in the Midwest at this station. He's a misfit. He's basically a 60s counterculture character that's kind of stuck in there, and he's got long hair with veiled references to recreational drugs and worships all the rock stars, and he's just always in trouble, and he's just often seemingly maybe hungover, possibly, and he was an actual DJ. He was an actual DJ, Howard Hesseman, for a short time, the Bay Area, California, at KMEX, 1967. But he's always drinking coffee in the show, and again, always in trouble. And it's just, we have a lot of memories of this show if you watched it. And thank you to Paul Chabot for sending me some of his favorites. The ones that I remember as well would be I think it's the first season where they have this turkey drop. We'll post that below. That's a very famous scene. Of course, when Johnny Fever first takes control of the station and he does his famous introduction, calling himself Johnny Fever, that I remember like it was yesterday. And there's just some good stuff in there. So that's pretty cool for those of us who remember that. Now, music was a big part of the show. They got around royalties a little bit by videotaping the program versus filming it, because the royalty rate for musicians was less because of talk shows. So that's how they did that. But there's all kinds of music on the shows, because obviously it's a radio station, and they did have to pay royalties in small amounts. And when the royalties expired much later, when they tried to release them in syndication, they had to fill in all those spots with other things, like either canned music or chatter. I mean, that's crazy, right? So when you saw the later syndicated shows, you didn't get to hear the original great songs on there, and that's why they couldn't release it on DVD for so long, because of all the royalty issues, which was same as true for Miami Vice, for instance. That went on for a long time. But one of the things I mentioned, and I read an article, is that the show is credited with giving Blondie's Heart of Glass a huge push. And so much so that the record label presented the show with a gold record, which you can see on the wall in many of the episodes. And one of the favorite ones that Paul sent me that I remember too is also when he's playing Pink Floyd, and he's just kind of totally zoned out as he's playing the album Animals. So that, of course, is near and dear to my heart. So what's our song of the day? We're at 6 minutes, WKRP. We're doing the theme song, WKRP in Cincinnati, from Steve Carlisle. It was released in 1981 as a single. It went to number 65. We all know this song. When you hear it, it sounds like The Love Boat or a lot of those other theme songs from that time. It's perfect early 80s theme song music. Interestingly enough, the ending credits were always a harder rock version of a song, and it was a lot of gibberish and mumbling like rock stars would do at the time, but it was usually being talked over, so you didn't really notice it. But your song of the day is the theme song to WKRP in Cincinnati in honor of Johnny Fever. All right, who remembers the show? Comment below. Enjoy your day, whatever it is you're doing. I hope it involves music, and as usual, we'll catch you on the flip side.